In this video, I'm gonna explain to you the exact business model that completely changed my life. Took me from being a broke kid a couple of years ago, having negative $50 to my name, living with my parents and failing a bunch of different online businesses, to now living my actual dream life, traveling all over the world, having set myself up financially for the rest of my life through this one very simple one-person business. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you in this video what it is, how it actually works, how I went from 0 to 10K in about 3 months and then scale up after that, and exactly how you can do the same thing starting from 0 without any previous experience whatsoever. So let's get into this. First off, what is this business model? What is it called and how does it actually work? Okay, so you've probably seen people online, people like Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, Charlie Morgan, Ashton Hall. You've probably seen these different influencers, that sell different types of courses. It can be fitness coaching, it can be how to make money online, it can be like agency services. You've probably seen these people online that sell different types of online coaching packages and services, etc. That's called the e-learning industry. It's an industry that's growing extremely quickly right now, and those people are obviously making a lot of money. Okay, so I realized this a couple of years ago, and basically what I did at that point is I realized that these people need sales reps. Like they sell expensive coaching programs from like $2,000 up to $10,000, and they need sales reps. People are good at just communicating with people, talking to people over Zoom calls, who can talk to these potential prospects that they're getting. These people are making videos, they're making TikToks, Instagram videos, and YouTube videos to get interested people and running ads to get interest. Then they need someone who can take calls with those people, talk to them, and basically just run them through how the program actually works, and essentially solidify, basically close the deal on their behalf. That's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. It's called high ticket sales. Again, it's basically when you take sales calls for one of these influencers, and your job is just taking a couple of sales calls every single day over Zoom from your laptop, and just talking to people that have already shown interest. There's no cold calling whatsoever. A lot of people get this wrong. They think that this is like traditional sales where you have to like cold call and like force people to buy. That's not what this is at all. It's very relaxed, very chill type of sales where you just talk with people that are already interested. They already know, like, and trust this influencer. And your job as the high ticket salesperson is just to talk to this person, build some more trust, answer some concerns they might have, and then if maybe they have some limiting beliefs sometimes, overcome their objections, and then close the deal, get them into the program, and that's literally it. It's very, very simple. So what a day in the life of doing this actually looks like is you work for one influencer, you find an influencer you resonate with that actually has a product, fitness coaching program, or like a make money online coaching program, or something similar to that, like maybe a B2B coaching program that you actually resonate with, that you actually believe in. That's super, super important. Something that's helped me a lot. And we're gonna get into that in a second of how to find these people. But you find someone like that, you find an influence like that, you obviously have to be good at the skill set and you can land a role with them. And then what you do is very simple. You wake up in the morning, calls book into your calendar during the times that you want to work. You can work between usually around 4 to 6 hours per day. It's pretty realistic what I've been doing. So you open up your calendar and then calls book in on your calendar at the times that you want to be working. You take these calls, you show up on your computer, and you just need to show up and have a good script, a good process to follow. And if you can do this, you can very simply close deals by doing this. It's not complicated. Like you're talking to people that already are interested, they already trust the influencer, and they already like want to buy. They want to change their life. You just need to be there on the call and like run the conversation in the right way, and you'll be closing deals. Okay, and then you get paid a commission. So if let's say you're closing for like a $5,000 or $10,000 program, like I've been doing, then you get a 10% commission usually of that when you're doing this. So if you say, let's say you take a conversation for a $5,000 program that you're selling for an influencer. Take a call for about 30-45 minutes is typically what a call is going to take. You close the deal, the person buys the program, then you get paid $500 for a 30-minute conversation. And then you do this a couple of times per day. Obviously, you're not going to close everyone that you talk to. Typically, I've been closing at around 50 to 60%, which is a pretty high closing rate. Beginners usually do around 30 to 40% from what I've seen. So you can do the math yourself. You take a couple of calls per day, take 4 to 6 calls per day, close 30-40%. You can typically make between $500 to $1,000 per day pretty simply when you get into this, okay? So that's really how this industry works. That's what you do when you're doing this. And it's a very simple business model. You learn one skill, you need to learn one client. That's all you need to start making 5, 10, 15K per month doing this. So now I want to tell you about my actual journey. Like how did I get into this? So you can see how this actually works and like the growth path as well. Because a lot of people don't know this, but in high ticket sales, it's not just making 10K a month. You can grow way further than that, like I've done. You can grow into roles where you can make 50, 100K a month as well. So my journey, just to summarize everything like really, really short here, is when I was when I was younger, a couple of years ago, I was trying all kinds of different business models. I was doing affiliate marketing, drop shipping, trading, SMMA, e-com. Like I was doing literally everything, trying to make money online. Was stuck for a long time, lost a shit ton of money, just like struggled, and over again was trying to like get freedom, get out of my parents' house, hit 10K a month, couldn't make it work, was stuck probably almost like 2 years, 3 years, was stuck just over and over again, grinding myself, picking a new business model and hopping into a new like course or mentorship. It's like trying to figure this shit out, couldn't make it work. Eventually, I had a call with someone who was further ahead of me, who was telling me that he was in high ticket sales. He was doing this. He was doing high ticket closing, remote closing. And he was like, bro, like the only thing that I do, I just take sales calls. I just like sit in front of my computer every single day, take some Zoom meetings, close deals, and I make 20K a month. And I was like, bro, this is insane. Like you is doing the stuff that I already like doing, which was sales, because I already liked talking to people and just like having conversations, and you're making 20K just doing that. Because like at that point, I was struggling making like way less than 10K a month with an agency. And I was closing a bunch of clients because I liked sales, but I didn't know how to actually deliver for clients, so I didn't get any results with that business model. So then I was like, shit, if I can just do sales, if I just like focus on this one skill, it seems so much simpler. Eventually what I did is I was like, okay, this makes way more sense. If I just focus on learning one skill and landing one client, I'm building the most fundamental skill in business, which is obviously sales. It's gonna set me up for my long-term goals of being a business owner. But I'm also doing it in a way that's gonna allow me to actually make money right now, so I can start traveling, leave my parents' house, and actually like hang around more high-level people and avoid like all the limiting beliefs at home, etc., etc. So I got into high-ticket sales. What I did first off is I understood that I want to get into a good company. This is super key lesson for you. Is you want to get into the best possible company where you can learn the most, and you can have the most opportunity to grow. And I had to kind of remove my ego. So I started off as an appointment setter, which is basically, if you don't know what appointment setting is, it's the most entry-level role in this industry, where you're just the person calling leads. So calling people that have shown interest in the influencers program. You're calling them over the phone, having like a 10, 15-minute conversation, very brief conversation, basically just qualifying people, seeing if you can actually help them. And then your job is to book them in for the closer's calendar, okay? So that's what I started off doing. Very simple. I did that for about like 2 to 3 months. Yes, getting into this industry, first month made 4K, second month made 6K. And like that was life-changing money for me at that point, because like that allowed me to actually leave my hometown. It allowed me to book a one-way trip from Sweden, halfway across the world, to actually where I'm at right now, Medellin, Colombia. And this was really when my journey kicked off, because when I left my hometown in Sweden, I went here to Colombia, I started meeting up with extremely high-level people. I literally met up with the guy that built Alex Hermos's sales team. So it's like super high-level people that were doing insane numbers, doing like $50, $100, $200,000 per month. Just like breaking all the limiting beliefs that I had about business, what's possible, changing my mindset, getting into the mindset that I have today. So then what happened is I did appointment setting for about 2 to 3 months. And then after that, I actually got into closing, which is again, the higher level role where you're actually the person taking the sales calls and taking the Zoom calls, actually closing the deals. That's when I consistently started bringing in over $10,000 per month in this industry. And I remember when I started doing closing, my life got so freaking good. I was just waking up in the morning, taking 4 to 6 sales calls every single day, so working for about 4 to 6 hours while literally traveling all over. I was in Costa Rica, I was in Mexico, I was here in the Colombian coast at a super cool island in the Caribbean. I was like traveling all over, making more money than I ever made in my entire life before. And I was doing this all from just like taking Zoom calls, like so simple. So I did it for quite a while, had a very good lifestyle, traveled, focused on my health and just growing overall. And obviously developed my skill, got better and better. My calls got shorter. I was able to make more money with less time spent on sales calls in this industry because I got better. And then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to grow further, I want to take the next step. I want to go from making like 10 to 30K a month up to making like the big boy numbers, making like 50, 100K a month plus. And then the next step here is going from being a closer into a management role, which is what I'm doing right now, where you basically manage sales teams, where you lead sales teams for these online business owners. And you can take a percentage from the business for doing so. So that was like the ultimate step that I'm still doing at this point right now, where I went from being a closer and it's like taking sales calls myself to now actually managing entire sales teams. And that's where you can really get complete freedom as well. You step out of actually having to be on calls yourself. And you're literally just like this person that's managing sales teams, getting paid by just doing some trainings every single day and coaching a team. Obviously, like you have to be able to train a team properly and actually like teach them and know what you're doing. That's why you have to go for this journey of learning appointment setting, doing appointment setting, learning closing, doing closing, And then you can get to that point, because there's different skills you need to get first. But when you're going through that, then again, life gets extremely good, because in management, you can just be leading sales teams, you're providing a lot of value, but you're not tied in terms of your time. You have time freedom when doing it as well. And that's really what's given me my dream life right now, where I can travel, I don't have to work a lot of hours every single day. I can make well over 10K a month at this point, because I've gotten into sales management, which is really like the end game, in my opinion, when it comes to high ticket sales. So that's really my journey, and that's how I got from zero, from literally like negative money in my bank account, to where I am today, to having my dream life, traveling all over the world, staying in nice places like this, and having complete freedom and never having to worry about money again every my entire life, to be frank, because I've learned this skill of appointment setting, of sales, of management, that sets me up and makes me valuable to the marketplace. So now I want to tell you how you can actually do this yourself, how you can more or less copy this journey and actually get into this as a complete beginner. I'm going to assume that you're starting from zero right now, you have zero sales experience, and you're trying to get into your first role in this industry. Number one, you need to learn a proper sales process, okay? I see a lot of people right now trying to get into high ticket sales. They're just like going out and like DMing people on Instagram, DMing influencers, trying to land a role by doing that. They have no actual sales process. They haven't actually learned the skill set whatsoever. What happens, and they're also very bad at DMing, to be honest. I get a lot of shit cold DMs myself even, and for the offers that I manage. The mistake you're making if you're doing that is you're just like blasting out DMs, hoping that someone is gonna respond, hoping that you will magically get on an interview and then land a role. What's gonna happen is you will get left in the DMs, so nobody's gonna see your DMs, you're gonna end up in the requested inbox of the influencer, and you have 0% chance of actually landing a role, and you're just gonna be wasting time, wasting energy, and staying stuck in the same spot, okay? So how do we actually avoid this? Is by number one, actually taking the time to get good at the skill set. When you're actually good at high ticket sales, when you've learned a proper script, a proper process, you know how to pre-handle objections, how to have short, straightforward, and good sales calls, how to actually lead people to make good decisions. When you've learned that skill and actually gotten good at this, sales, landing roles, making money in this industry, honestly, it becomes easy. So how do you actually do that? What we need to do is you need to learn a proper process, like actual process of how you can run through your sales calls, pre-handling objections. Most beginners trying to get into high ticket sales, they get on their first couple of sales calls and they have zero process. They don't know what they're doing. They get bombarded with objections at the end of their sales calls. They have conversations that end up for like 2-3 hours because they don't know how to handle objections. That can all be simply avoided if you learn how to run your calls in the most effective way. You need to learn how to understand the people at a very high level, so you can have short, condensed, straightforward conversations and pre-handle all the objections in the beginning of your call. If you can do this, your sales calls become so smooth and so easy. That's what I'm doing at this point. I can actually have calls that are anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes because I understand the people psychology at a high level. And on every single call that I have, I pre-handle objections earlier in the call, so I don't have to I need to think about it, or I need to talk with my spouse at the end of the call. So learn an actual good process, understand human psychology, study that, and actually practice this. Find other people you can practice with, get into a community where you can practice with other people, and build that skill. It's gonna set you up to have a way easier time when actually landing a role, okay? So once you've done that, once you've learned a proper process, learned a proper skill set, then the next step is just going out and finding the best possible opportunity to actually go and work for, okay? This is super, super key. One of the biggest things that's gonna determine how much money you make in this industry is not only your skill set, obviously you have to be good, but also being with a good business, okay? I've seen this so many times where people come to me, they've tried getting into the space, they've been learning the skill set, studying and learning sales, but they don't have access to the right opportunities. And they're making like $100, $500, $1,000 per month because they don't have the right opportunity. This is massive. If you work with a company that don't have proper lead flow, they don't have good marketing, they don't have a good personal brand, they don't have a good business in place, and they're just like looking to bring someone on the team to kind of save the business for them, you are fucked, to be honest with you. Like I see this so much, and it's kind of sad because a lot of people are trying to get into this industry, they're beginners, they don't know what they're doing, they end up with a shitty company, they waste like 6-12 months of their life just being with a company making no money, and they keep getting promised that it's gonna get better in a month or in 2 months, but it never happens. So massive thing is you need to make sure that you're ending up in the best possible business, because when you do so, when you're working for a good company, a company that you believe in, an influencer you actually resonate with, a product that you can stand behind, life gets extremely, extremely good. At that point, every single conversation, every single Zoom call that you take becomes a conversation about you genuinely helping someone else get into a program that you know is the best thing for them to do, okay? And you're also going to be talking to people that you actually connect with, that you actually believe in, if, again, you sell an offer that you actually truly can stand behind, truly believe in. And this has been one of the biggest things that helped me on my journey, because I've always been finding influencers, always been selling offers that I truly believed in, which has helped me to actually enjoy my work way more, talk to people I actually enjoy talking to, having fun conversations, like having 4 to 6 fun calls every single day and making money from doing that. This is way more enjoyable than talking to people and selling something you don't really care about whatsoever. So this is super important. You want to find a valid, a good influencer, someone who actually has a proven personal brand and a proven business, and someone that you actually resonate with. So how do you actually find these people? There's a couple of different ways. You can go on platforms like WOP, platforms like School. So a lot of people on there that you can go and apply to work for. Also on Instagram, you can go and do cold DMs. You can also find people on YouTube and send them emails. Couple different ways you can go about doing it. In my opinion though, the best way to do it is by getting into private networks, because a lot of these companies, they only hire from people that actually trust themselves. For example, like myself, I have my own inner circle where I connect my students directly with offers from my own network, companies that trust me in terms of training people up and then placing those people in their company. By doing that, you can kind of just skip past the entire journey of having to do a bunch of cold DMs, build trust with companies on your own, get ghosted and all that stuff. And you just kind of skip past by first off getting trained, actually getting verified by someone who's trusted by these companies, and then getting placed and connected directly with the best companies that have already been pre-vetted. So that's really what I recommend. Obviously, that's a pay-to-play game, but it's by far the fastest and the most guaranteed way to get into good roles and make sure you don't waste any time whatsoever. So that's really what you need to do. Learn the skill, find a good offer, and if you want my one-on-one help to actually do this stuff, to get trained up and actually get really good at the skill set, land a really good company to go and work for and start making money with them, you can apply for my Inner Circle coaching by booking a call down below this video or DM in Instagram. But anyways, this was the exact business model that completely changed my life, and not only for myself, but also for hundreds of other young guys that have wanted to get freedom. They got into this, now they're making a lot of money and traveling, getting freedom for themselves. Remember that when you're jumping into something new, there's always uncertainty involved. One of the biggest things that held me back and a lot of people that I speak to on a daily basis is they're scared to take the first step. They're scared to bet on themselves. So I want you to, after watching this video, really sit down, think to yourself, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the type of person who always lets fear hold them back, who's scared to bet on themselves, who's scared to take the risk? Or are you going to step up, take the first steps towards actually changing your life, even though you feel scared? I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully this was valuable. If you want my help, apply to join my mentorship, booking a call down below this video. Any questions, DM on Instagram, and I'll see you boys in the next video. Take care. Ciao.